Hey friends, Dave here with Stahls, and today we're diving into something that every apparel decorator, t-shirt business, and creative entrepreneur should keep on their radar, and that is the top t-shirt design trends to watch here in 2025. Now these aren't just passing fads, although we've certainly got those too, but today we are talking more about the waves that influence customers' buying decisions, their branding styles, and what your target markets or audiences are actually going to be really excited to wear. Now, whether you are just starting out in your spare bedroom or running a full-scale shop, our breakdown today is built to inspire you and help you press forward with confidence. Now, we know it's also not just the designs, but the apparel styles and decoration methods that complete the entire look. And as an apparel decorator, part of the value you provide to your customers is the ability to make certain recommendations as the expert. So we're going to be covering some of that too here today, along with how you could capitalize on some of these apparel and design trends without being a graphic design pro or having an art department. Although, if you do, that's sure to help. Now, with so much to get into, let's jump right into it. Let's kick things off right off the top with a trend that's quietly powerful, and that is bold minimalism. Now this look is kind of all about restraint. Think clean typography-only designs, oversized lettering, and striking simplicity. Now this usually comes with a message too. Design elements you're going to see commonly used include tall sans serif fonts, block letters, or even elegant serifs, although we're going to dive more into that down the road here. Now with this trend, it's typically a dark or black garment with a contrasting white print or even tone-on-tone colors. Now you'll see some variations from one word big and centered or a phrase to a collection of text with small logos or elements included, but it's not fancy in any way. Now, you'll see some things very minimal for a subtle, say, lowercase logo aligned to a not so bold placement like on the lower left hem, maybe a small left chest print, or even on a sleeve print here too. Now, we see this trend specifically popular in retail fashion with local businesses, fitness wear, motivational brands, and definitely with some elevated basics. You're going to hear this a lot through the video, but this trend really pairs well with the rise in popularity of boxy tees and heavyweight cotton blanks here, often in neutral tones like that black, right? Bone, charcoal, or even like something a little more muted like a washed olive. Now, styles like the Port & Company PC61 or the PC099, Comfort Colors 1717, the Hanes Beefy Tee, which is the 5180, or that new Bella Canvas 3010 heavyweight tee, and of course, one of the staples, the AS Color 5026, or even some of those shock-aware, more in the boxy streetwear styles too. Now for decoration, goof-proof screen printed transfers and one-color artwork work great for anything you're printing at quantity, right? 25 or more. Now with the matte finish on the screen print transfers for these limited color designs, coupled with that soft hand feel, really helps elevate the entire look even more and brings it super retail ready, all with just a heat press. Now, of course, for single pieces, on-demand printing, or designs with more colors, if you choose so, the UltraColor Max direct-to-film transfers are going to be a top pick here for this one too. Now, while placements are going to vary, the top styles we see here utilize oversized front or back prints, with that oversized back print maybe coupled with a matching left chest here on the front. Now, this style does say a lot more by doing less, and it's a canvas for some really thoughtful and impactful branding or messaging. Now, designing for this trend is kind of easy. It's all just text, whether you have graphic design experience or not. Now, EasyView Online Designer puts cloud-based design at your fingertips, all for free. You'll find it as EasyView LTE right here on Stahls.com. With over 10,000 pieces of customizable clip art, 8,000 pre-made layouts, and over 250 free fonts to use, you could start creating artwork today. Right now, all you need is an account on Stahls.com. Now, EasyView layouts, you'll find tons of text-only layouts right here in the layouts. You could search or just go up here to some of these building blocks at the top of the menu. You'll see trending type treatments, probably right here in what's most popular or new for 2025. Now you could also design your own, as these are primarily just text-based, using one of the 250 fonts that are here in EasyView LTE. Now on the other side of the spectrum from that clean minimal, we're going to cover grunge and some retro revival. Now this is not new for 2025. It's been around a little bit and it's definitely still sticking around. Now this style taps into that 90s rock, thrifted band tee energy. It's distressed, it's raw, it's full of personality. Now think cracked inked textures, faded prints, vintage fonts, half-tone photo graphics, or even some detailed illustrations. Now, while the rocker vibe leads the way here with this aesthetic, we also need to include those 90-inspired sportswear tees. Think the old brands like Zubaz, Logo 7, or Starter, if you remember the 90s like me. Now this trend lives on pigment-dyed or mineral-washed tees, specifically in muted tones or like dusty pastels, right? Oversized fits are key here too. You want the garment to feel like it's lived in, collected, and definitely not like super brand new, unless that's what your customer's going for. Now, it is definitely part of what completes the look with the oversized print, a little bit of texture, a little bit of wear, and that lived-in feel. Now, garment-dyed tees like the Comfort Color 1717 or the Port & Company PC099 Beach Wash are going to be the staples here. I do also want to call out the Hanes Beefy Tee, as many of these styles, when they were originally printed in the 1990s, were printed on the Hanes Beefy Tee. In EasyView Online Designer at Stahls, you'll find quite a few layouts that are going to get you pointed in the right direction, at least with a lot of the typography and fonts already prearranged, regardless if you're going to keep any of the other elements. And of course, all of these could be combined with any artwork that you upload to for those photographic or half-toned images. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the single-click distressing that you could add to any graphic in EasyView LTE. In the Edit menu, under Effects, you're going to see the option to add one of 5 different patterns. Want to ensure small text doesn't get distressed? Well, you could just select any object here, and then you'll see a button to clear the distressing on that element itself. For Ultra Color Max direct-to-film prints, this is a great way to break up any larger images that make the graphic feel a lot lighter and allow the fabric to breathe through even some of those huge, large, oversized prints that are prevalent for this trend. Now typically, we're going to see full front prints here. Now don't be afraid to add any branding like neck label graphics, hem prints, or inside tag prints for that extra vintage flair. Now this trend is a go-to for boutique brands, music merch, sportswear, fan gear, and of course, all of that retro-styled streetwear. If you work with any skate brands, bands, record stores, or local businesses in that maybe hip part of town, they've likely already asked for something like this. Next up, one of the most visually explosive trends heading into 2025 is hypercolor and illustration-heavy art. Now this style is kind of electric. It's playful, it's bold, and it kind of thrives on maximalism, so the complete opposite of what we were talking about. We're talking things like neons, gradients, that chrome look, cartoon-style drawings, character designs, or like sticker bomb effects. It kind of widely varies here, along with the warped or swirled fonts. Sometimes they're all in the same design. Now this is ideal for online shops, online content creators, maybe the local comic shops, any brands that are going to maybe Comic Cons related to anime or the nostalgic pop culture references, and definitely on youth-focused merch here. Now these prints are the most striking on sometimes lightweight tees, sometimes heavyweight tees, and with white or pastel bases. So you're bringing some color into it away from those neutral tones that we were talking about earlier. Now you're going to want to use Ultra Color Max direct-to-film transfers for this trend, or even some mixed media. Now Ultra Color Max is great for that full color capability, soft hand feel, and it's perfect for intricate artwork, those gradients, or those chrome effects to really make them look realistic. You could even kind of fake glitter if you know how to do it in Photoshop. Now, of course, recommended placements here are a lot of these large front prints, wraparound designs, or graphics that actually break the regular placement rules. Add a little chaos, right? That's part of the fun here with this trend. Now, we're gonna take a more modern spin on some vintage with some playful cartoon illustrations. These whimsical rubber hose style cartoons are making a huge comeback, but with a modern twist. These designs personify everyday objects like food, drinks, tools, or equipment, and it gives the character a little bit of fun and charm. Now, this is great for both brands, local businesses, pizza shops, and so much more. Now, we actually featured a lot of this trend at our Stahls Fulfill Engine and Order My Gear pop-up shop at PPAI earlier this year in Las Vegas. Now, brightly colored tees or those pastel shades serve as excellent canvases here for this trend. You'll be utilizing DTF for those colorful graphics or screen print transfers for those single color ones, and they really are both ideal for capturing some of those intricate details, those vintage, vibrant design motifs that you're going to bring in for some of these designs. Check out some of the easy view layouts and clip art that you'll find that really embrace this trend. From hot dogs to baseballs, AC repair guys who are an air conditioning unit themselves, or even planet Earth. Now, the cool thing here is that AI design tools make it really easy to toss some prompts in to get some of the results for any object that you want to turn into a cute little cartoon for this. So whether it be a hamburger or a box of French fries or chicken nuggets, whatever you want to do, just ask AI to do it, and you could import that right into the EasyView Designer to finish it up. Now, shifting gears, let's cover some of these color block design trends. Now, these bold, geometric, or hard edge prints, sometimes even hand-drawn, are making a statement here in 2025. Now, these are inspired kind of by handmade illustrations, lino cut, or even like wood block printing styles. The designs feature large, contrasting blocks of color that are bold and often have some of these like minimalistic elements with not too much detail. Now, they're perfect for fashion-forward brands aiming for a modern artistic look or sustainable nature-inspired designs. Now, solid color tees in primary colors or those pastels or light colors, think of like the naturals or the light grays, the slates, or even some of those garment-dyed colors that we talked about earlier, right? Which is going to be a nice stark contrast to allow the ink colors to pop and really enhance the design. Now, you're typically going to see bold color here, uses of lines, and a lot of floral or natural elements that are going to go along with all of this nature inspiration for this color block trend. Now, still popular for the heavyweight tees, you're going to see these on lightweight or midweight tees too, from women's blanks to tank tops and everything in between. This is a time-tested aesthetic that really kind of comes up and comes around every few years, and it's certainly on the rise, utilizing some tropical motifs or even food-inspired elements here too. Now let's talk one of my favorite trends is the varsity and kind of team heritage. Now, this is a trend that's been around for really seems like forever because it is timeless, but it does get reinvented every few years. Now, 2025 is all about, yep, you guessed it, oversized collegiate fonts, stacked arch text that you'll see. It's really similar to some of our first minimal trends that we covered in this video, but this is going to involve, obviously, a little bit more. Blending in a cleaner look to some of those vintage vibes that we covered earlier too. Think mascots, stripes, numbers, script and tails that really create that home team look and feel. Now, these are perfect for high school and collegiate spirit wear, intramural leagues, nostalgic fashion lines, and so much more. Now, the apparel that you're going to pair this with, of course, are going to be raglans or those boxy crew neck lived-in sweatshirts or oversized tees as this go-to canvas, especially in those styles and colorways like heather gray, denims, reds, navy, or, of course, team colors. Now, the Port & Company PC098 is a great sweatshirt that adds so much vintage to it with that little Dorito chip cut in the collar and, of course, a garment-dyed sweatshirt, all for that lived-in feel. Now, chenille patches most certainly pass the vibe check here. hammering home the time-tested Varsity look. But don't pass on woven or embroidered patches and emblems too. And we've got to mention the stitched applique with sim stitch or sport stitch, or even screen print transfers that bring these designs to life. But one thing with all of these that we just covered are all applied with just a heat press. You don't need tons of equipment to really get all of these great different finishes and effects. Now this trend is absolutely perfect for showcasing school pride or creating that limited edition merch drop feel for retail, local businesses, or even, yes, streetwear. Now, somewhat related to collegiate, sports, and your local education, right, are the collage style designs with hand-drawn illustrations that are gaining quite a bit of popularity here, especially in college campuses, local pride apparel, and of course, nature-inspired, or like those national parks apparel, right? So these designs often combine some stylized script text, maybe even some checkerboard patterns worked in, and nature-inspired elements, or these little hand-drawn elements of what is for a baseball game, or what is prevalent around a local community. Now these do appeal to any audience seeking authenticity and that handcrafted feel, so you might notice these really all over the place on Etsy. Now, earth-toned or natural fiber tees here really complement these designs incredibly well, right? Screen printed transfers are typically the go-to for any larger quantity runs, of course, as these designs are typically in one color only, either with a contrasting white on the garment, or in many cases, you'll find a tone-on-tone that we talked about previously too. Now, of course, short runs, one-offs, or printing on demand for your Etsy shop? Well, HyperColor Max direct-to-film transfers are 100% the way to go then. Now next up, we're gonna cover what I've seen called Luxe designs, right? So think what you'd see in the stores at maybe those high-end boutiques with a little bit of a twist. Now this luxury-inspired design is kind of like our first trend we covered, with a lot of just fonts and typography, but these feature the serif fonts in that luxury-inspired look, paired with maybe some scripts, along with photorealistic images. Now typically here, we've seen a lot of food and drink that are trending along with this luxe look, but you'll see it branches out to animals and a lot of other things too. Just depends on the brand or use case. Now these designs certainly have a defined sophistication and are perfect for upscale brands, retail, or of course, promotional merchandise and streetwear, right? So neutral toned tees such as cream or navy really enhance this luxurious feel, but you'll see blacks, grays, charcoals, and even whites here too. Now, you're going to want to utilize high quality heat transfers, right? Or any specialty finishes like our foils, our glitters, or just something to add a little touch of something extra and elegance. Now, lots of heavyweight tees and boxy styles are going to be prevalent with this trend here too. Now, still sticking around from 2024 is that kind of late Y2K trend. Now, the early 2000s are definitely influencing design this year too, with the bubbly hand-drawn illustrations and kind of that playful futurism. So a little bit of that chrome that we were talking about earlier, of course, floral motifs, and some of that like new wave techie vibe. So whether we're using pastel colors and tech-inspired graphics or some swirly fonts, this aesthetic really is going to resonate with audiences seeking that comfort and nostalgia, right? We're talking probably more that millennial market here too. Now these are going to be light colored tees, the pastel shades, the pinks, the purples, anything that's really going to complement these designs. They really could be wild, more in that maximalized trend. And of course, you're going to want to use direct-to-film printing for a lot of these, as they will include a lot of color, and the HyperColor Max is going to nail those soft gradients and of course the intricate details that you may have in your artwork. Now as we wrap up all the trends, let's touch on a few emerging ideas for 2025 and beyond to get you set up for success and just things to keep an eye out for. Now first, personalization is kind of going next level. And it's not just names on the back of a jersey, but we're talking AI-generated art. custom AI-generated likeness, which you've probably seen all over the internet here as AI evolves, or whatever trend is currently running around the internet with the latest update to image models and accuracy. I think the one that I'm seeing now is a lot of like Renaissance paintings or Baroque stuff, right? Where people are taking their cats or their animals or their friends and turning them into like Renaissance paintings, right? So consumers are always craving products that feel unique to them, right? Or relate with them in some way. So keep an eye out for things like that in your target markets. Now next, of course, eco-conscious production is becoming more maybe non-negotiable, and especially transparency in the entire manufacturing chain. Whether it's using water-based inks like our UltraColor Max Direct-to-Film, recycled garments like all-made garments, or producing only what's ordered when it's ordered for print on demand, decorators definitely are leading the way in responsible printing. Now we're also seeing some experimental formats too, like wrap around prints that wrap across seams, textured layering using mixed media, and even some glow in the dark or reflective designs as well. Now, innovation is not just a trend. It's an opportunity for you to stand out with your customers and bring value to every single transaction. So, if you've got time to experiment, it's definitely worth a shot. I also want to pause here just to recap some of the commonalities that we saw across decorated apparel here in 2025. Now, of course, across all of these diverse trends, there's several common themes, and you may have already kind of pointed them out. Number one, oversized prints. Large, bold graphics are really dominating the industry, making a statement and capturing so much attention. Now, number two, the color palettes. A lot of neutral tones, the pastel muted colors, and earth colors are definitely prevalent, providing versatile backdrops for various designs. And of course, black t-shirts are always in style. Now also, apparel styles. Boxy, oversized tees are definitely the thing. With heavyweights, they offer comfort and a very modern silhouette for almost any demographic. Now, what's kind of weird to me, but I see everywhere, are the cropped tees, right? Even for men. While they're not cropped per se, but they end right at the waistline. There's even styles like the AS Color 5079 or what they call the minus tee, because it's minus 2 inches up from the regular bottom hem for kind of more of that fit that fits, yeah, right at the waistline. Now, of course, we also have to talk about decoration techniques, a mix of traditional and modern methods, including screen printed transfers, patches, applique, and of course, everybody's favorite, direct-to-film, are being utilized to bring a lot of these designs and trends to life. Now, whether they be bulk orders or they are one-off on-demand printing, it's all available to you with just a heat press. So, what does this mean for your shop or your business? It means you got options, right? And if you made it this far in the video, now you're equipped with knowledge. With the right heat press, high quality transfers, you could create on-trend, retail-ready looks without needing huge inventory or any complex equipment, embroidery machines, or even in-house printers. You could literally just have the heat press. Now, whether you are printing one-off shirts for an Etsy drop, outfitting an entire football team and the fans in the stands, or building your own brand, the design landscape of 2025 is really wide open for creativity. Now remember, staying on top of trends isn't about chasing what's cool, it's about knowing what resonates with your customers and helping them express who they are. You're going to know your customers and audience better than, say, I do. Now with tools like goof-proof screen printed transfers, UltraColor Max direct-to-film prints, and of course all of the heat transfers from the sport stitch and the applique to all of the effects that we have here at Stahls, plus your own unique vision, there really is no limit to what you can create. All I ask is that you communicate, right? Talk to your customers and ask the why, or suggest what you've seen in the industry from your own perspective. Like, I was just recently chatting with a friend doing garments for a Collegiate event in North Carolina, where he had mentioned using a blended lightweight t-shirt style because it's what he likes, right? Now don't get me wrong, I love the Next Level 6210, but I know college kids these days are all about oversized or boxy tees. So I suggested the Hanes Beefy tee, which conveniently also is available in Carolina Blue, which turned out to be a win-win, with it being a favorite of the college age attendees at the event. You have the ability to do that for your customers, and that's something that's going to stand you out that all of those national print shops, if they just go to Google and say custom t-shirts, are never going to do for them. So go ahead, experiment, be creative, and be there as a pro for your customers. If you've got a favorite trend, or if you're already designing in 2025 and pushing the limits, let us know what you're doing down in the comments section below. We always love to hear from the apparel decorating community, right? And please share what you're working on with us on Facebook. You'll find us at Stahls Heat Printing on Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok, right? Of course, be sure to subscribe right here to the Stahls TV YouTube channel for all of the inspiration, education, and apparel decorating tips that we're dropping every single week. Until next time, I'm Dave. Happy designing and happy pressing.